To kick it off, I want to share with you a headline out of Bloomberg. It's advice about what everyone who's making less than $300,000 a year should do to avoid that sting of inflation. Inflation is what? Inflation is the loss of purchasing power. Technically, if you understand how money is created in the system between the Fed and the Treasury, the government, the banks, you'll notice that inflation is a way to suck money to the top of the system. And this isn't some type of conspiracy theory, it's literally how it works. Okay, so inflation is the loss of purchasing power for your money. Okay, so if you leave money in the bank for the last year, you've lost about 7% of your purchasing power. Bloomberg's advice: take the bus. Don't buy in bulk, right? They don't want you to hoard supplies. We have food supply issues happening around the world. We have Russia, who control a lot of the world's food supply. We have China, who controls a lot of the energy supply, and they appear to be playing different games. I think we have a polar shift of power on this planet, okay? So they don't want you to stock up on goods. They want you to try lentils instead of meat. And nobody said this would be fun. Guys, this is horrible advice for people who are under the sting of inflation. What you need to be doing now, when your dollars in your bank account are losing value day after day as they print 80% of the money supply over the past couple of years, the things you need to be purchasing are, number one, cash flowing assets or businesses. Okay, so whether that's dividend paying stocks that are producing real goods and services that are adjusted for inflation. What does that mean? It means that as the dollar is losing value, your rent is going up, your food is going up, and businesses and real estate investments are adjusting their prices in relation to inflation. Okay, so a rule of thumb is to start using credit. If you can get access to credit at a fixed rate, maybe you can lock in a 3% fixed mortgage for 30 years. You're paying 3% on the dollar value that it is today. That is a good thing in a hyperinflationary environment. Okay, so get access to credit to buy cash flowing assets and businesses. Other investments that make a lot of sense in a very inflationary environment are real estate and gold. Okay, real estate and gold. Real estate is cash flowing. They've known this for a very long time. I want to share this right here from a very, very long time ago. It's a meme from a very, very long time ago. And they knew that the fiat currencies, those paper currencies that the governments continually print, and it's called debasing. All right, even back in the Roman Empire, when the coins were actually precious metals, and they started off with 100% pure silver coins. And then they realized, oh, we can mix in a bit of nickel in here, that cheaper one, and it'll still look the same, and the people won't know, right? You ever seen those ridges around the edge of the coin? That's because to prevent people shaving off the actual valuable metal of the coin. I don't know if you knew that, but those ridges around the coin actually prevent people from debasing the currency. Okay, so it happens every time a government has the power to create money. They end up doing exactly the same thing throughout history. Look at any history book in any country, you'll find that that's what happens when humans are given the power to create money, to administer a country. And so we've known for a very long time, gold, precious metals has always been that restorer of belief. Okay, the notes, we started off with real gold coins, then we moved to a piece of paper which was connected to the gold coins in the bank, because we can't carry around all of these bags of gold, right? But we can carry around paper. This note represents the gold in the bank. For the last 50 years, since 1971, the US has gone off of that standard. We said, okay, this paper isn't worth that gold it's not connected to that piece of gold in the bank anymore. Then we enter the banking financial system, and look at what's happening Well, first, look what's happening in every country in Latin America right now. Once people get a hold of the printing press of the money, they print. The fractional reserve system means that the bank is using your deposits to make tremendous amounts of money. They're using it as collateral to get more debt at very low rates from the government. The government is printing out more and more money, and it creates this vicious cycle. And we all know how it ends. So what's happened here over the past, 40, 50 years is that we've seen this fiat money really create an enormous economy. And listen, debt can create growth, okay? And that's how they've been doing, that's how they've been running the game. And the baby boomers really got the best of that system. They got in early in that system. Okay, so they the 60s, 70s, 80s, they went to university, they got that job, and they had that same job for 30, 40 years in their career, and they followed the rules, which was investing in index funds and investing in the stock market. And we've seen incredible growth in inflation in that. And now to keep this game going, we saw in 2009 financial crisis, they had to print a whole bunch more money to keep that game going, because it got so inflated, and it got to a point where we're starting to see the cracks in the system. It's kind of like a scheme, and we're entering in right at the bottom. And you can see that the Generation X, those are the people born in the 70s and the early 80s. They got towards the end of the system. And then now, if you're 35 or below, you're a millennial. You're really kind of just entering in at the bottom of a fiat monetary system, which is sucking a lot of the value to the top of the system. So what are we to do? Thankfully, and I think this is why this moment in history is very, very exciting, because we're seeing the birth of a new financial system, and I think the same rules are going to apply. The earlier we get in, the better. The difference with this system is that there isn't humans at the top in control of the printing press who can eventually say, oh, we need more money, let's print more money. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are controlled by algorithms. There's no way to change that algorithm. It is what it is. There'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. In a couple of weeks, the 19 millionth Bitcoin will be mined. There'll be a couple million more, which will take many years to enter into circulation, but there's only ever going to be 20 million Bitcoins. In each Bitcoin, there's 100 million Satoshis. Okay, so eventually, I think we're going to be trading Satoshis. They're also called sats. Okay, we're going to stack sats. We're going to be trading sats, and I think a lot of things are going to be priced in sats, right? Another use case for Bitcoin has come along, which is providing, it's basically backing a stable coin called UST. UST is a decentralized stable coin, which is pegged 1-to-1 to a dollar, as well as a mix of other currencies, in order to provide stability in that price. As we move on to these new systems, we're seeing incredible volatility, right? Even though Bitcoin is the biggest, we've seen Bitcoin shoot up to 68,000, back to 30,000, now we're at 40,000. This is incredible volatility. An economic system does need stability to move in and out of. That's what stable coins are doing, and that's part of this new financial system that is being created. Okay, so that's kind of just an update to, like, this is, what we're offering here is a way to start accumulating Bitcoin at essentially 2x speed. So you could just buy and hold Bitcoin and wait 5 years or 10 years. But it really, when you look at the writing on the wall and you understand what's happening here, personally, and that's all I can kind of share. And I'm not going to tell people what to do. I'm just going to, be doing what I'm doing and sharing what I'm doing, which is aggressively and as fast as possible accumulate as much of this right now. It's kind of clear what's happening. Look around the world. Look how our the transparency. Look how the truth of the financial system is affecting our belief, our faith that the dollars, the paper currency in our wallet is going to be worth the same it will be next year. All right, look around. We're losing that belief that the people at the top have our best interest at heart. And what does that mean for the currencies that we're using? So, it's up to you how you kind of want to tell the story of what you're doing and share your story of what you're doing. But I think there is a we're very privileged to know and see this thing, and 99% of people still don't know. Well, I say 96% of people still don't know. We have about 4% adoption of crypto in the world right now. 4%. Okay, so you're in very early. It's almost a good duty, a responsibility to tell people, hey, like the financial system is transforming. It is being reset. And we really have two options right now based on the central bank digital currencies, which are going to be complete surveillance coins. They're going to be able to control our wallets. Okay, when the next variant comes out, they're going to say, nope, you can't buy that holiday. Nope, you can't buy that plane ticket. Wait, you've been posting alternative political opinions. You cannot purchase, luxury goods. You cannot purchase anything but the essentials. You're suspended for enjoying our country that this political party has provided for you. Do you see how serious this moment of time is? We are being led onto a very scary system. And if we're not aware of what's happening, we're going to be sheep led to slaughter, essentially. And I'm not exaggerating that. Like, look at history, look at what governments want and are doing. So Bitcoin is leading the way in terms of adoption around the world, and it's also there because there's no CEO, there's no central authority saying this is the new currency, you need to use this. This is a decentralized coin. So I really see we have two paths to take in terms of our financial system right now. One of them is onto our central bank digital currencies that are extremely controlled by the governments that do not have our best interest at heart. And then we have this decentralized path. And that decentralized path isn't, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. Decentralization means that we do need to start taking a lot of responsibility in a lot of ways, right? The reason that governments are so powerful is we've given them our trust and our confidence, and they've abused that at this point. So, we're waking up, we're realizing what's happening, and this path towards decentralization is going to be a path of, okay, I'm becoming my own bank. I need to understand new things. So educating, sharing what's happening, sharing what's going on, I think is really, really important right now. I don't think we're going to end up in a pure decentralized environment, but at least going in this direction right now is going to mean that we're not as dependent as we are right now on these centralized and evidently corrupt systems. Okay, so keep that in mind. I wanted to share that to remind you guys, this isn't just a fun thing to do. This is an incredible moment in our history. And we happen to have a vehicle that incentivizes a very large group of people to educate and get people involved in investments. Okay, so just holding Bitcoin is enough. And I really, I don't think we need to pressure people into do anything more than that. But when they realize that they can put their Bitcoin to work and start accumulating Bitcoin at 2x speed, they're gonna, you're gonna start seeing your business flourish. So that's my piece for this morning.